Grand Rising, everybody. We are back. Welcome to all of the new people. Thank you for tuning in and coming in and commenting, and welcome to all of my subscribers. We're gonna get right into it. We're not gonna jump into it, but I want to go ahead and bring in Mr. Butts. How are you doing today, Mr. Butts?
I am doing well, Miss Pitts, doing well.
That's
I know you
good.
got some challenges, but how are you doing this morning?
I'm okay in this moment. And for the people that are watching, my dad passed at 4 a.m. this rising, and so I am pushing through. I want to still show up, of course, and then just been consoling my mom and my dad's wife. So just being an ear for them. So yeah, I'm okay.
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you for pressing your way. I know it can be somewhat of a distraction, to say the least, when you go through something like that. Even when you think you're ready,
Right.
uh, you ain't ready till the time comes. But it is a passing, transitioning to the next realm is a part of living on this particular plane, and those of us that have evolved enough, matured enough, know that it's just inevitable. So prayerfully you will be able to call upon the pleasant memories you have of your dad to comfort you through, uh, as he joins the ancestors on the other side to guide you.
I feel like he here. He keeps turning my camera off. He like, how dare you get go live? It's like okay. Yeah, but I feel okay, like I said, in this moment. But we do have some good memories. And he loved Michael Jackson. So my last memory was him dancing the carpet
Ah,
off of my cousin's floor to Michael Jackson.
doing his moonwalking and
Baby, he outdanced my son. You know, if you sit Pharaoh down, you got a lot of energy. And so he
mm-hmm.
danced and danced and danced. And my son was like, what is going on here? And so my son he was trying to keep up with him. But my daddy's energy just always has been on 12, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was thinking about. But yeah, rest in power to him. He's joining my ancestor team. And so I'll be sure to get a couple of things and a couple of pictures to go on my altar. And just I'm glad he didn't suffer. That was my biggest thing. Nobody wants to suffer on the way out. So
Right. Right.
but yes, welcome to everybody. I hope you all have caught up. If you are just now tuning in, we are on chapter 3. We're going to do 2 chapters today. So we're on chapter 3. We're going to do the design of orgasm, and also we're going to cover the house of.
Hmm. All right. I don't know if we having some technical difficulty. You disappeared. But it looks like we're still live.
So whenever you don't see me, just know my dad over here playing with the he playing with the
Okay.
camera. Yes. So
All
I am
right.
still here. You just have to pick up the pieces. Okay. So
All right. The design of orgasm, the 5 steps to high energy orgasm. The table below, for those of you that have the book. Um, hey, and by the way, speaking of the book, I'm not sure why nobody took me up on my offer last week. Uh, I mean, everybody that's joining us already has the book, ordered it for yourself. Um, cool, glad. But if anybody new that does not have the book, was just joining us to hear the read, but you would like the book, immediately after the this morning's session is over at 11 o'clock, the very first person to hit my DM on my messenger at Jamal M. Butts. Miss Pitts has linked it a couple of times, but we'll spell it out again. Just find me on Jamal M. Butts, send me a message, and I think we're going to stick with forehead kiss. Send me the message forehead, one word, kiss, and I'm going to I'm going to pay for you to get the book so you can have it in your hand as we delve into the holy grail of orgasm. And now we're jumping back on chapter 3. The design of orgasm starts talking about the 5 steps to high level orgasm. You remember there's 3 phases, 3 options: the juvenile orgasm, the adult orgasm, and then the pièce de résistance, the holy grail of orgasms, the high level orgasm, or HLO, as we're going to refer to it from time to time. But it begins. The table below presents 5 steps or stages in the path to achieving high level orgasm. Note that by definition, this transition assumes that the man or woman making this transition is already operating at the adult level of orgasm. Certain people will require remedial work before they are capable of leaving one stage and progressing to the next. The main reason for the requirement of remedial work is certain health conditions. Some fanatic religious practice leaves a scarring on the energy body. Also, certain homosexual, bisexual, and transgender practices will tend to require remedial work between stages. The 5 steps to high-level orgasm. Number 1, conservation of sexual energy. Number 2, shift from the unipolar sexual dynamic to a bipolar sexual dynamic. Number 3, Tantra table work. Number 4, the Cocoon Project. And number 5, the internal natural DMT production from ESR. In stage 1, the woman or man becomes aware of the source of their sexual energy and learns how to conserve it. This consists of lifestyle changes to pay more attention to the vital life force. Where is it coming from and where it goes? Make whatever transition is required so that the vital life force is growing steadily, not bouncing up and down. The conservation of sexual energy may be achieved by abstinence, the practice of Qigong, meditation, yoga, vowel sounds, Om, and gym routines. A woman may also begin to work with her yoni egg as prescribed. Both the man and woman start the shift from a unipolar sexual dynamic to a bipolar sexual dynamic. This means the female shifts from a clitoris-centered libido to the vaginal-centric platform. The G-spot becomes the primary control point. For the male, this means a shift from a penis-centered libido to the natal template. This is prostate-centric. With Joe, men point control as primary, and with the penis as the secondary yang platform. This involves the male engaging in a regimen of semen retention. His prostate must be spiritually activated, which involves the female engaging in the spiritual activation of her G-spot. Her genital reflex map must be stimulated. The male will map it first. She will use her yoni egg practice to finish this activation. This is a part of the alignment of body's modality. The woman and man should then train in basic Tantra techniques. This is for the purpose of learning to operate their energy bodies. Sex is an energy body activity. Orgasm involves multiple bodies, but begins in the energy body to the extent that the pain body is under control. The woman and man determine where they are according to the sex value table. Tantra can be employed to move up levels and enter adult phase orgasm. The woman enters the cocoon phase. While in the cocoon phase, she releases her pain body and embraces her pleasure body. She attempts an activation of her elegant rose archetype. Most importantly, she seeks to align her four bodies as much as possible. The evolved woman then uses her sexual pleasure as a vehicle to spiral with the man, taking him through the process she just experienced. The couple must pay attention to the 3 points on the holy orgasm triangle. The final phase is the DMT phase. The cell body is the last body to be brought into alignment. The level of toxins gradually declines because of the cell body regimen, the Tantra, the improvement in the endocrine system, and the secondary protocol. The chemistry in the body aligns to be capable of producing low levels of DMT. Beginning in cocoon, the female experiences the onset of internal DMT production. The full protocol is activated now, and the execution phase moves into high gear. This brings on full body orgasm. The male follows suit and enters an expanded sexual capacity and eventually full-blown male ESR. In this chapter, we are in the mapping phase, and there is a lot more mapping to do before we are actually ready to begin discussing the 5 steps in detail. By the time we reach that chapter, the reader hopefully will have been enlightened to such an extent that he or she can actually perform each step with a high level of success. This is no small feat. The 5 steps represent the path, the plan, and the course of action. There are tools, modalities, concepts, techniques, and systems that we will employ to get the job done. 3 of these things represents the main vehicles we will use to follow the plan. Together, these 3 things form a triangle, a holy triangle. The holy triangle of orgasm has 3 points. Tantra. 1, Tantra. 2, the level of masculine and feminine injury, house of the man, house of the woman. 3, the alignment of the 4 bodies, cell body, energy body, light body, and quantum field. The understanding of these 3 topics is enough to provide us with a path to achieve high-level orgasm. Tantra is the engine of transition by which a woman or man can bring their necessary faculties online. The house of the man or woman is a measure of our fuel level. The more masculine or feminine archetype we activate, the more fuel we have to power the energy released into orgasm. In other words, the more archetype we have online, the closer we reach the point at which we can enter true DMT status. The ability to rearrange neurochemicals, amino acids, and peptides to achieve altered states of consciousness. A key aspect that separates high-level orgasm from simple adult-level orgasm is the internal production in the brain of high-quality DMT compounds. Adult orgasm occurs in the brain as a result of neurochemicals and the firing of neurons. However, it first occurs in the energy body. High-level orgasm occurs exclusively in the energy body. In fact, the left brain hemisphere must be shut down. There's an entirely different chemistry at play. But before high-level orgasm can occur in the energy body, it must take place in the light body heart, and other light body orgasms, as well as the cell body and brain are concerned. A high-level orgasm is a DMT experience. I was very surprised when a famous guru told me that his first high-level orgasmic experience was from mushrooms. He had not been able to achieve it through his spiritual practice. He had to rely on mushrooms and herbs until he met a certain young lady skilled in Tantra. He made her one of his consorts, mates. He gave me a history of herbs, mushrooms, and frogs used in HLO practice. It seems that medicine men, gurus, and shamans have been using these things for many centuries. It was even popular in Europe until the Catholic Church arrived and began to slaughter many shamans that held this knowledge. There is a similar history within Islam and intolerance of indigenous sexual practice. What really piqued my interest was that the DMT experience brought on by mushrooms was similar, almost identical to the blissful trance-like state brought on by Tantra. A light bulb turned on in my head. Could an energetic practice cause the body to secrete its own natural DMT? The guru was distressed that in the West, some territories had banned certain hallucinogenic mushrooms. He had a small following in the US. The guru did not understand why politicians in the West approved GMO foods and harsh prescription drugs like MAO inhibitors and allowed fluoride into the water source, yet banned herbs and fungi that had been used safely for hundreds of years. It does seem a bit suspect, especially since the FDA then approves drugs made with those same key ingredients in the years that followed. I would discover that whenever a high-level orgasm is discussed in scholarly circles, there is a correlated mention of melatonin, DMT, or the pineal gland. For years, I suspect it was dopamine that was the precursor to DMT in ritual, but it turns out that it was melanin all the time. Throughout my long spiritual journey, I have done my share of ritual initiations and advanced meditations. Some of the experiences I have had from rituals and deep meditations are difficult to explain using pure science and logic. I believe that a few of them involved internally produced DMT. This is especially true of my interactions with elemental entities. I refer to scenarios where I took no herb or potion of any kind. I used some cannabis in college, but that is about the extent of any drug use. Yet I hear some of the tales from people who used LSD, and some of my experiences were even weirder than theirs. How can this be? I have little doubt now that during those times, my brain converted melatonin to DMT. Later, as I practiced and taught Tantra, I had the same or similar experiences. Although they may not know the chemistry, hundreds and perhaps thousands of Tantra participants could concur with my findings. There are ample statements in the Tantra archives of old to support this conclusion. Indeed, this is not a matter for debate in high-level shaman circles. Thus, the next premise, there is a point reached in the gradual evolution of the energy body and the light body that in turn upgrades the cell body to enhance its ability to produce DMT internally. Not only DMT, but other neurochemicals as well. This point marks a cardinal shift in the natal orientation of the right brain hemisphere to the left brain hemisphere. It represents a new and advanced alignment of the four bodies. This cardinal shift opens up new sexual energy capacities between the yin and yang polarity potentials that heretofore was not accessible. The bottom line here is that in order for high-level orgasm to take place, the woman or man needs to be at a certain specific point in their spiritual evolution. There is a minimal level of alignment between their four bodies which is required. The elemental potential of their masculine or feminine energy must still be intact. Their energy body needs to be at a minimal level of development. These are very general statements, and there's so much gray area between the black and white that we cannot be any more precise. The bad news is that most people do not meet this minimal requirement. But the good news is that in a short period of time, they can be trained and cultivated to be capable, and for a few lucky devils, actually finish puberty and enter adulthood for full high-level orgasm potential. The mystique surrounding DMT and melanin is thick. I have studied the equations, but to be honest, I do not understand how it all works. It defies logic. How does the body manufacture a compound without all the raw materials necessary to make it? And yet it does. And how does this altered melanin compound allow a person to communicate with higher entities? And how does this relatively simple neurochemical allow the brain to operate on brainwave frequencies that are off the charts? I do not claim to know, but I do know that I can do this because I have done it. And I have also ushered more than a few people into this elite state. My college degree was in engineering, so it is hard for me to ignore the laws of physics and chemistry. However, there is no doubt that once the light body and energy body of a human being reach a certain development and a certain alignment, we become capable of modifying chemical molecules in ways that science does not yet understand. Esoteric concepts and metaphysical laws now seem to rule. So be it. We have to push forward with the understanding that in time, our collective knowledge of chemistry will catch up. The holy triangle of orgasm, Tantra, the level of masculine or feminine energy, the alignment of the four bodies, cell body, energy body, light body, quantum field. The three dynamics above are at the core of what shapes a human's experience of orgasm. Masculine or feminine energy provides the fuel to power the orgasm. The more archetypes the man or woman has online in their house of the man, the greater the ability to store fuel. Tantra develops the complexity and abilities of the three lower bodies. It gives them the ability to perform at high level orgasm standards. The alignment of bodies is the network efficient is the network efficiency. It allows the signals to get through. Alignment allows the intelligence to operate the sexual apparatus in an advanced mode, the holy triangle of orgasm. So, I didn't rush, but I did kind of press through that because I know it's going to be broken down in subsequent chapters. And what you should basically get from this is that there is a method to the madness.
Right.
For those of you that are going to be on the journey with us throughout, awesome. As you can see from this chapter, you have some homework you're going to need to do. And we definitely want to share these pages today, Miss Pitts, when we get a chance to get those uploaded. And for those of you that have the book, this is what I'm going to call. I mean, 1 and 2 were foundational, but this is probably the third leg of that foundation that we want to make sure that we give some credence to, and that is to say that you have to do your homework. And it is not all scientific, but again, there's a process that we're going to follow, or we hope you're following. Before you even say this is BS, this is not possible, I ain't never going to have it. No, follow the process. Let's shake off all the old. Let's unhypnotize ourselves. Let's shake off some of that old bad knowledge. What do we call it, Miss Pitts? Deprogramming.
Right.
Let's deprogram some of this stuff. And if you've never had an HLO, a high level orgasm, as we've described it previously, and I'll go back and find the actual description in a moment. But you think that leg shaking that you've been doing, and the eye roll back you've been doing, and the moaning that you've been doing, as equated to soul taking, I want to say no. At best, you've been at some level of adult orgasm, but until you really combine all four bodies together, shutting that right brain down completely, and allow the spiritual being that is within all of us to combine with the esoteric, the energetic, and the cell body, you haven't got there. You won't get there unless you follow the path as it's laid out in these 5 stages that we're going to be going through. But right now, we're giving you the basic information so you can kind of touch on some of these things and then practice going from A to B to C to D to E to F, all the way to heaven, seven, heaven, all the way to. Oh,
Can't. I can't.
yeah, it's not
Okay.
my song. Not my song.
Well,
Comments. What statements?
well, I would like to bring on a guest. We have a guest. So I'm gonna bring on Miss Max with the Gap. She's gonna join us for book club. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, how you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you okay. Max with the
Oh.
Gap. Did she tell you who she was, Nina?
No, she didn't.
Oh, she just said, let me get on.
Well, I asked her did she want to be brought on, and I was trying to tell you that you have a guest. But
I mean, I saw all that on the side, but I was trying to kind of, again, get through, because we want to get through the 2 chapters today. Well, Max with the Gap, welcome to the party. Yeah, she was one of the people that I said I communicated with this week, and was eager to send her the link and share it with her, because she wanted to, I thought, follow along. But happy to have her on screen.
Right.
Max, you want to tell people a little bit about you? Just a little bit. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Hi, my name is Max with the Gap. I'm a content creator, a writer, a screenplay writer, and born and raised in Chicago. Now I live in St. Louis. 49 years old, and I've always been interested in our body dynamic according to sex. You know, how do we, especially females, how do we get off? How intense can we get off? And that's pretty much about it.
That is not
in what came from money, was always spoiled. The last of 8 kids. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
The only one went to college. The only one went to the service, and pretty much worked my way through the family business. Didn't have to, didn't need to, but I was always ambitious and wanted to make my own money, do my own thing in a positive aspect. And I've accomplished most of my goals.
That's awesome.
So as Uncle Jay, I call him Uncle Jay. As Uncle Jay knows me, I've always wanted to be a porn star. Okay, so it doesn't mean anything happened to me or anything like that. Came from a 2-parent home, and they pretty much groomed me to be into this society of making money and stuff like that, right? Nothing happened to me bad, nothing at all. But at 9 years old, I was looking at porn around 2 or 3 in the morning. My parents asleep, and I just thought that was a fascinating field to be in. You know, not to say I wanted to make a whole lot of money or wanted to be famous. I just thought that was a fascinating thing to do, and at 8 and 9 years old, even at 15, 16 years old, you can't tell your parents that are good, working hard citizens. You can't tell your parents at that age that you wanted to do adult entertainment for a living. You just can't tell them that. You're not. And even at 49, I'm 49 years old. Even at 49, my mom still just can't believe I wanted to do that. She's like, I didn't raise you like that, stuff like that. Yeah. She just can't believe. Raised in church all my life. So, coming from them, they're like, we didn't raise you like this. We don't know where you get this information from. We just did not groom you to be like this. But kids got their own era of becoming themselves.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, that's about it about my background.
Mm.
So welcome and thank you for being transparent and honest because I personally think that sex is a beautiful thing
It
and that
is.
we should be more open and receptive as a society. I feel like we would all be in better moods for one.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But I think it's healing. It's a modality to heal. So
Oh yes.
what do you think about the book so far?
Well, I came in on the like the mid while he was reading.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have the book,
Okay.
but from what I've read through other books, it is a higher level of
Mhm.
intensity
Mhm.
that men and women are trying to get, but they just haven't got there yet. You
Right.
know, and we're striving to get there to seven heaven.
Yeah.
We're striving to get there, and we
Yeah.
just don't know how to get there yet.
Yeah.
And we can't get there on our own.
Right.
So it takes two people or three or four to get to
right. Right.
to get to that level. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So when I side note, when I hear about what's your body count and everything like that, it's not so much. I don't think women is trying to, get it under their belt for a body count. It's just to see who can get them to that seven heaven,
Right. People
and
searching.
if right, people are searching, and it's not such a bad thing when I
Right.
hear women got 20, 30 men. Okay, you just haven't reached that level yet. But I do believe once a woman reached that level with said man, then she'll keep him. She'll
Right.
do anything in her power to keep that said man, whoever took him to seven heavens. So that's what I
Right.
think.
Right. That's a beautiful point of view. I've never even entertained the body count question. It's like we're dealing in the present, and people,
Hmm.
both men and women, spend a lifetime searching, both sexually and sometimes soul wise, but just for that connection. I think we all
Where'd she go?
Mm. Uh, she and her dad are having a little conversation, I think.
my dad is like, girl, what are you on here talking about? But yeah, um, I think that it's beautiful that you wanted to pursue, and I know people have their opinions, but
Hmm.
I always has respected, and people are shocked when I say it. I always have respected the sex workers
Hmm.
because they have within themselves something has clicked for them.
Hmm.
And so the strippers, this is community for me. The strippers, the sex workers, something on some level has clicked to where there's something within themselves to where they're free. They don't
Hmm.
care about society's judgment or people's opinions. You know, we live in a
Hmm.
society where um people try to
Oh, doing it again.
my dad is like, what? Listen, and it's funny because when I went to Georgia the last time, I
Hmm.
was trying to get my daddy some sex chocolates. I was happy because I had ordered two, and I got a double order. So I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
you and your wife, y'all can play around with these. And so he's probably like, girl. But yeah, I just think
Yeah.
sex is healing, and so
Hmm.
in a way, these sex workers are healers.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
they're empty, you know, and they're coming for
Hmm.
fulfillment, and I don't think anything's wrong with it. So I
No,
think
I don't either. It's many of times where I've read and seen with my own eyes through other relationships, and other women be like, "Oh, he's cheating with me with with a stripper, or he's cheating with me with this other girl, or whatever," and I just can't stand it. And I said, "Well, What are you doing at home to make him go there? Okay. Or what are you not doing at home to make him go there? Okay. I do believe if the woman is doing what she's supposed to be doing, and I'm talking about not talking back, being submissive, being that girly girl of a woman that she should be, then he don't have no reason to do that. But usually they got a reason to be going to another woman to be getting sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of other women, when they're in a relationship, they don't feel like it. When the man feels like it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like that is totally wrong. Whether you are here to assist him, so whether you feel like it or not, you assist that man and do whatever you can to get him off.
Mm.
Okay, because if he feels better, he'll treat you better.
That's true.
That's my mind. That's my mind. If you do whatever he asks you to do, then it will be more peace in the home. It will be more comfort, and he'll be willing to do whatever it is that you're asking him to do. As long as you do your part first, but you have the woman have to do their part first. Okay. And that's be shut the fuck up, be submissive, and mostly just do whatever he wants you to do. And you know, just be compliant and be
Mm-hmm.
nice about it. A lot of women in their relationship, they're not nice. They're not pleasant. They're not comforting. Okay. They're always arguing. They're always demanding. And that's just not the way to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I tell my uncle all the time, I need a man. Okay. It might not be my man, but I need a man in my life to do everything that I do not want to do. Okay.
Right.
So, and I need a man. It takes a man to do the stuff that I need him to do.
Right.
Because because 9 times out of 10, if I want my car fixed, it's a man. 9 times out of 10, if I want my cable or my fixtures to be done, I need a man.
That's
Okay.
true.
9 times out of 10, when I'm on the road driving and there's a truck driver, there it's a man. So I need a man. I need a man to move my furniture, take out the garbage, do these fixtures, fix my car. I need him to do that. But how I'm going to do it? How am I going to get that man to be compliant to me? I have to be compliant to him.
Now,
Okay. He like because my man now, he's like, yo, I need you to do that guac guac. Okay. All right. I need this toilet fixed. Okay. So I do the guac guac first and he get the toilet fixed.
okay.
That
So you
I
have
mean
to
it's
break.
easy.
We're gonna get into chapter 4, y'all, but we I need to know what the guac guac is first. I'm like,
That hot tui.
oh, okay, okay. We got different terms for it. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. Speaking of transactions, Miss Pitts, you said something. I just wanted to throw this out there because okay, so let me go. I'm gonna do ABC before I get to what I want to say before we move on. We do have time to finish this.
Take your time, yeah.
Yes, Max with the Gap is one of my adopted nieces and a protege of mine, and we are actually in production of a podcast for her called All Facts and No Cap.
Okay.
Concept born of a conversation that we had some time ago, going back 2 years now, and
Yeah.
we both were talking about why do people have so many mental barriers to engaging in any kind of sex that pleases them, and in that conversation we kind of foundationally a lot of it is driven by people's religious upbringing.
Right.
So anyway, we decided we would discuss that. She would discuss that. I'm
Yes.
producing. I'm not discussing, but she's gonna be discussing subjects like that, taboos and why they exist and how to break them down, how people can get beyond them, and
Mm-hmm.
it's great that she's a guest today, and sharing that. and it's led me to say to think about one of the things that we learned while we were doing some background research about the influence of the porn industry,
Mhm.
the sex worker industry as a whole. And when I thought about it again, Miss Pitts, when you said something about how important sex workers can be um, to men and their psyche and their leveling out to some degree,
Sure. Yeah.
and how freeing it can be. And I said, free is not the word. Free is not the word.
Mhm.
The sex industry as a whole averages uh, bringing in $186 billion
Million.
a year.
Mhm.
Wow,
Yep.
really?
Yep.
186 billion
That's a
dollars
lot
a
of
year between
moolah.
that's across all platforms from and that's what's registered. So imagine the underground stuff that those
Right,
transactions that are not registered.
right.
But it takes into place the pornography, just from magazines to movies to now streaming. It incorporates both Pornhub and OnlyFans,
Hmm.
as well as your basic prostitution and such. And so, yeah, freeing maybe on a emotional, mental level, but it is long way from free for real, for real.
Hmm.
Um,
And what's the name of the podcast again?
all facts and
And
no
no
cap.
cap.
Okay.
All facts and no cap. Um, so yeah, so that kind of ties into the things that some of the things that she was revealing and espousing about the cooperation required between men and women.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to leave it there as we dive into chapter 4, which is going to talk about the house of the man and the house of the woman, and the
Woo-hoo.
necessity, like chapter 3 espoused first and foremost, of the health, the mental health, spiritual health, and physical health. And it's those foundational things needing to be as clean as possible before we journey on to getting to that HLO, the high level orgasm. I'm going to start reading again, Miss Pitts. And if you would go back to chapter 1 and pull out that paragraph that describes high level orgasm. And let me
Okay.
know when you get there, and I'll pause.
Okay.
The greater
So,
the masculine energy of a man, the greater his capacity to store sexual energy. Store sexual energy. Store your sexual energy. This also means that he has a greater ability to release energy into orgasm. The greater the feminine energy of a woman, the greater her capacity to store sexual energy. The greater the ability to release energy into orgasm. The science here speaks to having the means to measure the general level of this energy and what means exists to change this level. This whole thing is about alchemy and metamorphosis, right? Uh, the appearance, posture, and emotional facade of a woman do not indicate what the functioning level of her feminine energy is. Not at all. Women who look appealing and who present typical womanly traits may be very deficient in feminine energy.
wait
I'm
a
sure
minute.
we've heard all that glitters ain't gold, is it, Miss Pitts?
Wait a
Just because you
minute.
look, just because you look like a baddie, don't mean you got the energy to reach HLO or help in both of you reaching HLO.
Right.
Like Max of the Gap said, cooperation between the two parties, submission in both from both parties in
Yeah.
order to achieve a common goal. For us in this book, success of reaching the holy grail of orgasm. Did you find that HLO?
I did.
Let's just read that real quick before I go on.
Okay, so a high level orgasm is marked by a significant increase in the duration of the orgasm. In the high level orgasm state, the couple typically makes love for 1 to 3 hours. More importantly, they may enter an orgasmic plateau and stay in orgasm for many minutes at a time.
Many minutes. And as we kind of had some case studies that uh, that Master Morris told us about, where some of those features of reaching the HLO manifest themselves days later in uh, the senses being heightened for days and days later. Not that you were in bed, unable to walk, legs shaking for 4 or 5 days, but it brings you to a place where your senses are so heightened that it's a lingering effect. Hence, the orgasm goes on. And for some women, that moistness continues on, and whether it just be from the memory of that state thereof, or getting into a closer proximity where there is an additional piece of electrical energy that stimulates another orgasm again. So, the appearance, posture, the emotional facade of a woman do not indicate what functioning level of her feminine energy is. Not at all. Women who look appealing and who present typical womanly traits may be very deficient in real feminine energy. Thus, we must look deeper. By deeper, we mean several things. It is necessary to examine all four of one's bodies: the cell body, energy body, light body, and quantum fields. By deeper, we mean an examination of his house of the man and her house of the woman. Most men, whom I define as macho, who are boastful, seek trophies, and who are overly aggressive, actually have less real masculine energy than other men who appear more balanced and even-tempered. The house of the man does not lie. So what is this house, and how do we define it? All men are have roughly the same capacity to achieve masculine maturity and execute male energy, but is a dormant thing until the faculties are activated. In other words, all men have a similar potential, but in some it remains dormant all their life, while others activate and bring online even more of this potential. Also, there are degrees of intricacy in masculine development. Some men are more refined and more complex, or the scope of their execution is broader after they activate their male archetypes. The same is true for the female. This bears directly on the scope and intensity of orgasmic ability. Put in simple terms, the greater the real activation and refinement of his masculine or her feminine energy, the greater their capacity to store sexual energy and release this into orgasm. We could list thousands of traits and attributes that could be defined as male or masculine. Likewise, we could list thousands of traits and attributes that could be defined as female or feminine. To enable a reasonable discussion, we place these male or female genes into 4 categories based on their social or elemental functions. The full discussion of this is contained in the books Awakening the Master Feminine and Awakening the Master Masculine. Those are the books that Miss Pitts is. Those are previous book club books, right, Miss Pitts?
Absolutely.
Okay, so they were foundational. The full discussion of this is contained in the books. Awakening. Okay, thus, with respect to men, there are 4 categories of archetypes of masculine energy: warrior, healer, hunter, and eagle. The elemental energies of masculine. So in the house of the man, one of the 4 potentials is the warrior. He's described as protective, rigid, paternal, aggressive. The act of engagement, the capacity to confront the obstructions in life and then remove them. And then there's the healer, holistic, balanced, sociable, artistic, romantic, the ability to restore a thing to original condition. Then there's the ego, logical, left brain thinking, deductive, intellectual, segregate, critical. Seeing the steps to make a plan happen, having a vision beyond the present, a world view. And then there's the 4th one is the hunter, predatory, disciplined, persevering, paternal, the ability to be accountable for responsible for the welfare of others. Now, as quickly as I have read the example of the four potential houses of the masculine, yes, I can hear the question already. I'm going to answer yes. It is possible to be a combination of several of these four houses, but you will still have a dominant archetype. So if you can pull one or two traits from the other one, yes, but all three or four of the attributes of one archetype, that's going to be your main archetype.
Absolutely.
Okay. Miss Pitch, you want to pick up?
I do. Okay, so similarly, hold on. Let me get back to the screen. Let me take this down. Similarly, we place the many banks of female traits and attributes into four archetypical or arche y'all know I be messing up words
Mhm.
categories. They are the moon, the seated hawk, the elegant rose, and the treasure chest. The moon is nurturing, caring, generous, submissive, maternal, nurtures what is growing, and constructs family. It's constructing family. The elegant rose is joyous, beautiful, sensual, artistic, carefree, arousing, and giving and generating pleasure. The seated hawk is synergistic, imposing, intuitive, right brain thinking, and intuit the plan. And then the treasure chest is redesigning reality, unifying, prosperous, social, earthy, and matriarchal, constructing community, the harvest abundance. Now, the house of the woman defines all those attributes in the DNA that constitute the feminine energy. It is what separates a female from a male. The house of the man defines all those masculine traits at birth. All four archetypes are dormant and inert. They do not begin to come forth until about puberty. We must activate an archetype before it comes online and changes us, or before we can manifest its attributes in our life and persona. In general, our sexual capacity is determined by how many of the four houses we have online at any given time. And then in modern times, most societies operate based on dysfunctional cultural models. Severe abnormality Severe abnormality has become the norm. The use of technology is out of control, and the family unit is non functional. Relationships should be tribal, or at least clan or family based. However, relationships for the most part are individual based. Today, we have designed relationships only to serve the self. In this social climate, teens rarely finish puberty. Thus, most folks enter adult life at the age of 21 with only one archetype online. A few may have two archetypes. Humans are naturally inclined to evolve and mature. Even during difficult times, humans still manifest an urge to evolve. A minority of adults do bring more feminine or masculine archetypes online as they age, but negative forces in society are so strong that most do not. Religion, poverty, and the misuse of time are the main culprits. They keep people locked in an evolution prison. And in summary, most of the human population does not finish puberty. Society simply does not encourage bringing the masculine and feminine archetypes online. Now, while major social forces discourage the development of masculine and feminine elemental energy, there have been positive movements that did encourage it for small segments, mainly the Tantra movement and the self help movement. On the positive side, there's good access to information starting in the 1970s. The self help movement emerged, providing a new age push. It became a robust movement in the 1980s and continues today. It extends across the entire social bandwidth and penetrates most types of media, both online and offline. There are millions of self help books, courses, shows, and resources. There's also a small but powerful Tantra movement in the West. The seeds were already here, buried in the waning Native American traditions. Asians who were born in the U.S. but traveled home were introduced to it, and Westerners who are well traveled abroad may have encountered Tantra. This is how I was introduced to it. However, until the 1980s, there was a little working knowledge of Tantra. Exotic books spoke of Tantra as an ancient occult art poorly understood today. Guru and Swami redefined Tantra as some mystically religious practice because they had forgotten how to actually do it. This began to change with the emergence of the popular mystic Satya Sai Baba in the East, and in the 1970s, he began a resurgence of practical spiritual growth and real self transformation versus the physiological.
Uh-oh, she's disappeared on us again. He began a resurgence of practical spiritual growth and real self-transformation versus the philosophical and idealistic teachings that had become so popular.
What
These
is it?
teachings,
Pronounce it one more time.
philosophical and idealistic teachings that had become so popular.
Okay. Okay, these teachings spread from the epicenter in India to the entire region from Iran to Vietnam. The teachings had followers in Hindu, Islam, and Buddhism, and the Swami Guru and spiritual masters that followed began to revive some of the ancient practice in which actual personal transformation was held as being superior to simply following a doctrine. The spiritual master also came out of this camp in the 1980s. He traveled to America and established a community in Washington state. He practiced active tantra openly and publicly. Ooh, I wonder what that like. Okay. The Native American, I'm like publicly, okay. The Native Americans had an advanced and spiritual practice of Tantra, but I doubt Europeans had been exposed to it. Also was the first, I believe, who exposed Europeans to this practice. And for this, he was sent to prison where he was later poisoned. He returned to India where he died. Some considered that his mission had failed, but in truth, the designs of Sai Baba prevailed. And if you all don't know, Baba means father. Um, for in the short time also was in America, he introduced a small circle of disciples to active tantra. The seed took hold. This began what would become a wider movement in the 1990s. Now, during the decade from 1990 to 1999, back that thing up. Shout out to the 1999ers. Several books were published by a variety of authors, including Master Yao, who, well, which began this conversion from, can you
Philosophical tantra.
philosophical tantra to real active tantra. The movement did not cross over into the mainstream, but the movement continues today. This movement has a substantial positive impact on a number of masculine or feminine archetypes in men and women that they have been able to bring online. While some of the versions of Tantra that spring up in the following decades were corrupt and impotent, overall, the movement has still had a very refreshing and positive impact. Adding additional archetypes to one's house is not easy and normally takes months or years of work. Now, fortunately, there are now ways to achieve this in a relatively short time and with much less effort. It can be done without a rite of passage or formal initiation. In a future chapter, we shall present this procedure for doing so. Okay. Grand Trine offers classes on doing this, and other organizations offer programs as well. In conclusion, the high level orgasm is not available for men and women with very low levels of masculine or feminine energy. The challenge is that most people in modern society have very low levels of gender energy. Gender energy. The good news is that any individual can change this dynamic in a short time and with only a modest investment of training and effort. The profile of one's sexual house can be improved. Well, that's good news for everybody. It can be improved.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, what do you all think about tantra?
You know what, Max? We've never discussed that. Are you familiar with tantra at all?
No, I really never heard about it.
Okay, all right. So like Master Yao said, it was kind of like an underground. I'm going to say underground, but not that anybody was really trying to hide it. But since it stemmed from things that did not really align with your major religious factions, is the most politically correct phrase I can use.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really embraced. It's an energy working. And it requires being depthly in tune with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your present environment, and with the person that you are engaging with, but foundationally yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a very small community. That's the word I was looking for. Very small community prior to the influx of it, after probably in the 90s. I think that's what he said. But I remember really coming online with it more in the 90s as both Hinduism and Buddhism start to become more openly accepted in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have some very pointed views about all this.
Right.
And a
Right.
very unique perspective, because I've had personal experiences, initially training in Islam, and then Judaism, and then Christianity, and then dabbling in the modalities, mostly for research purposes, in Buddhism and Hinduism as well. I'm familiar with Krishna as well. So there is room for what we're talking about, for the subject that we're talking about, getting to the holy grail of orgasm. If you utilize whatever you have to open yourself to get past any spiritual hangups that you may have,
Right.
to just get in tune with your masculine and or feminine self,
Mm-hmm.
and allow that energy to evolve. I think that's going to be a word we regurgitate over and over. Evolve on an energetic level, in your masculine and your feminine. You'll be able to utilize that as a source. It needs to be the fuel of alchemizing the cell body and your etheric body, to get us to the point of enjoying high level orgasms.
Right.
As we described it, and we need to go back to it again. Max, I am curious. Can you say that you have or have not experienced a high level orgasm, as we described, where it feels like a spiritual, emotional, and physical heightening that is marked by a significant increase of the duration of the orgasm and the high level orgasmic state, as you made love for 1 to 3 hours, and once you plateau, that plateau is maintained. And I'm pretty sure when he says minutes, it doesn't mean 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but as some of his case studies describe, you're still lingering in that state hours later. Ever been there?
I want to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very, very long time ago. I was either 23, 24 years old. And after that incident, I've learned to just program my brain to be like, I don't want to be in that state again. Okay, because
Uncomfortable. It was
it,
uncomfortable for you.
yeah, it was uncomfortable because it just, and maybe I'm just a passionate person, but it just took everything out of me. It took all the love for that man, all the anger that I had that for that man, all the happiness. And I started crying in wow, in action, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and then hours later, it still took my breath away. It still took my breath away. And I just couldn't believe what had happened. Like I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't believe that another person can take all of that type of energy
Mm-hmm.
away from me. And I, at that moment, I just felt so empty. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I needed to go run and rebuild my energy because that's how tired I was. I was drained. I was
Mm-hmm.
just, I was parched.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Imagine.
I
Okay.
think
You don't want to
I
be
think
thirsty no more. Okay.
right, I think I drank a whole gallon of water right after that
Oh,
incident, to be
okay.
honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was a lovely experience, but some time went by and I was like, you know what? I don't want to be drained like that ever again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women probably they want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
me being the energetic person that I am, I don't want no man or no woman. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
anybody just completely draining all the energy that I could possibly muster up out of my
Mm-hmm.
body. And I
Mm-hmm.
just felt completely helpless.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
really couldn't move.
the thing I'm going to point out about that is, yeah, and I would, mm, I don't. I'm going to suggest that you obviously have a bipolar emotional connection to that experience. As you say, it was both pleasurable in one regard
Right. Right.
and uncomfortable in another, which is very typical if you're not seeking HLO with some intention, and if the person that you are engaged with is not also there for the same purpose. If that
Mm-hmm.
makes any sense. You
Yeah.
there when we talk about the alchemization of masculine and feminine energies in the seeking of the holy grail of orgasm, a high level orgasm, you both have to get on the same ship and your energies have to, if it's just a rowboat, y'all both have to put y'all paddles in at the same time with the same level of intensity going in the same direction in order for it to be a much more pleasant experience. I absolutely, as Master Yao shared some of his case studies, for some of the people, some of the senses that were heightened, both brought them pleasure as much as a bit of being uncomfortable with, being able to sense some things at the height, and the sounds a little too intensifying after those sessions, not those experiences. I don't
Hmm.
want to call it an incident. It's an experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you can learn from that. And, you can kind of physically enter all the same spaces and add your emotional connection to it, hopefully with the person you are emotionally connected to
Right.
Hmm.
and spiritually aligned to, and again alchemize your energies to a state that gets you to the HLO. um, but appreciate you sharing with that. Were you gonna make another, you had something else to say, Miss Pitts?
Um. So I did want to. We spoke about it last week. I just feel like in some instances it's like an energy harvest, but in others, and it is my belief that when it is good energy alignment, you will have energy to get shit done
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've experienced it once, and I personally, I don't mind going to sleep feeling drained sometimes, but I would prefer it uplift and give me energy versus harvest my energy. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those instances but I can't say I ever been parched after. That's just deep. That's a gallon of
It
water.
was, girl. It was it like Uncle Jay said. It was fulfilling. It was surprising. Okay, I didn't know I had it in me, really, to be honest, because
Mhm.
I was 22, 23 years old. So whatever, he was an older gentleman, like a couple of years older, you know, and in college and everything. And I'm like, woo, and me not knowing what was happening, it kind of took me by surprise because I'm
Mhm.
looking like, how can another person just drain all my energy? And I'm talking about all
Mhm.
my sorrows, all my pain. I
Mhm.
had a headache. I remember I had a headache at the time. I had a migraine headache.
Mhm.
Okay. That's number one. Number two is we were longtime friends, and that was our first time together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. So the height of it all, then the intensity of our friendship just blew it away. And we discussed it many a times. And then all of a sudden it happened, we've
Mhm.
been wanting to do it, but the doorway wasn't open for us. The chance wasn't there to do it. And then finally we had the chance and we did it. And then we're both looking at each other like, what the hell just happened? you know? And
And that was my next question. I was going to ask you, did you have any conversation, and what was his take on, how did he feel? What was
he said that, and he had a girlfriend,
first minute?
and he had a girlfriend at the time. But because we were longtime friends, I've been knowing him since I was 4, 5 years old. And
Mhm.
at the time that incident occurred, he had a girlfriend. I didn't have anybody, but he was helping me with something over my house. And so that's how it
Mhm.
all, that's the backstory about it, right?
See?
So, and we was thinking about it as we were working on the project at my house.
Mhm.
And we were both saying, well, we don't want to mess up the friendship. Well, you know what? To this day, we're still friends.
Oh, okay.
But we only did it that one time in our whole lifetime.
Mhm.
And that was over 20 years ago. Okay.
Mhm.
So, he was like, well, maybe we should just go on and do it and just get it out of our system and just see what happens. And
Mhm.
I was like, well, you got a girlfriend. I can't, I don't want you to cheat. He's like, look, I've been knowing you this many years. I don't think it's called cheating. I thought it was called cheating. But anyway, the conversation ended and we did it in 5 hours went past. He was supposed to go on a date with his girlfriend and he missed the date.
Uh, 5 hours. Hey, Miss Pitts, that's right up your alley, ain't it?
Okay.
Uh,
Um.
five,
Yeah.
she
five
like it
hours
like
went
that.
past and he missed the date. He called us because his girlfriend was calling. He was like, look, I got sick or whatever. He lied, you know?
Uh,
And then he spent another 2 hours with me. We was just laying there in bliss. We didn't do anything. We was just cuddling,
mhm.
trying to get each other's energy back because he was parched too. He drank a gallon of water as well.
And
So
that's why Master Yao says you need to be healthy.
Mhm. Just in case.
Healthy, you need to be hydrated spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and physically hydrated before you seek out the depths of these high level orgasms. And so
and
yeah,
that's the
a lot
thing.
of people still don't have a quite a vision. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And that's the thing. The bed was, not to be grossed out, but I know it was mostly my juices. The bed was
Mhm.
soaked. And it wasn't sweat. It was mostly
Mhm.
me. And I was
Mhm.
like,
That gallon that you needed to replace was on
yeah,
the
was
okay.
on the bed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
What they
Okay.
call that? This it's a waterfall, or is that a
Yeah.
waterfall?
Uncle
What
Jay, it was crazy. It was
in my
crazy.
head is like memes be popping up. I was like, okay. So yeah, that's a lot. And then I'm just thinking like y'all both 5 hours is like way up there. So I can only imagine, and this is just me, I'm visual. The sweat, the tears, like everything that was
Hmm.
going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it wasn't a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It was more seductive. It was, sensual. It was, a
intention.
lot of it was a lot of
A lot
touching,
of
and
the okay.
you know,
Yeah.
it was kind of like that movie, My Endless Love. You know,
Okay.
so
I've never seen that movie. My
oh,
endless.
What
you should
movie?
see it with Brooke. My Endless Love with Brooke Shields.
Okay.
Oh, they when the two kids were on the island.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the Blue Lagoon.
Oh, Blue. Okay,
Yeah.
endless. Thing.
I remember the
I
Blue
remember the
Lagoon. That's
song.
right.
I know I
Well,
saw the
it was
movie. We was watching everything Brooke
well.
Shields back in the 70s or
Yeah,
80s.
back in the '70s. Well, my Endless Love was like one of her very first films. I think she
Mm-hmm.
was 13 or 14 at the time. No,
Oh,
I think she was 12 at the time.
oh wow.
And it was about her losing her virginity to this older guy, and you
Oh,
know,
okay.
you know, and she really
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with this guy. That was her first endless love. That was her
Okay.
first love. So
So she
yeah,
kept.
it was like that. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I'm gonna go back to the beginning where he said the appearance and posture and emotional facade of a woman do not indicate the functioning level of her feminine energy. And then he went on to say in that same paragraph that women who look appealing and present typical womanly traits may be very deficient in masculine energy. And this is so true because,
Hmm.
as Jamal just said, I mean, Mr. Butts just said, everything that glitters is not gold. And so
Right.
we're living in a society that is image based, I would say, to say the
Hmm.
least.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will assume, and me and Mr. Butts, the shout out to TCC because we're always referencing back conversations from there, but
Mm-hmm.
just how many women they look beautiful and they always are talking about being submissive, but
Hmm.
they are very single. And so
Yes.
it just goes to show something in those house of man and woman. A woman can have the moon and the elegant rose, which would be the more feminine, girly
Hmm.
archetypes. And we would even
Hmm.
add to that the treasure chest, just to give it all. You might be missing one,
Mm-hmm.
but then be very still masculine in nature because of whatever happened. And when we were reading, you all, I'm gonna link the mastering, awakening the master masculine and feminine. I'm gonna link them at the end of the video. It explained that so many people, we can't say men or women because men are molested too, but so many people have been molested and raped and all of these horrible things
Mm-hmm.
in their adolescence. And sometimes
Hmm.
that will stunt the growth of an archetype. And so now you're carrying these things into your older age and you never quite get to balance the four within yourself. And what I look at this chart is your elemental chart as well. Because it's like something can happen to you, and we'll use water as an example, which is your emotions, and people shut down their emotions early in age, and so their ability to connect with people is a little more limited, or they just might not have it in them altogether. But just
Hmm.
all of the houses that are described here, and let me share the chart again. All the houses that are described here, like Mr. Butt says, you might have just one, depending on what kind of childhood you had. Some people
Mm-hmm.
lose both parents, and so they don't have but one archetype, and it could be the hunter. They're predatory, they don't care on some level, and they out here in the world
Mm-hmm.
just in fight or flight for however many years. And so you just never know. But that's what stuck out for me. It's like the appearance. Just because a woman appears to be feminine doesn't mean that is so. And so me personally, y'all know me personally,
Hmm.
I'm not, I tell people I'm not dolled up all the time. When I am, I am. I clean up well, but I operate a farm. So I'm out here thugging it every day. I sometimes I don't even get a chance to look in the mirror before I hit the yard because I usually wake up and just go outside.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
so people tend to think that I'm very masculine, and they will hear me talk or whatever. But then once they get to know me, then they see that softer side, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And so it just depends. You have to also take into account that most women, and I know I'm gonna speak for me, we don't go through the rites of passage, which I think
Mhm.
should be placed back into society. The Hispanics slash Mexicans, they still do it. A lot of African cultures still do it. And that is taking that young lady out of adolescence on into being a full blown one and being recognized for it and loved on in that one day, for her to value her feminine energy. We need that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember being younger, feeling it like I was blossoming or something, but it wasn't celebrated. If you were showing too
Mm-hmm.
much skin, you was called fast. Oh, she fast. You didn't put that up. You know, I always had a shape. They would shame you for your shape. Oh, she's shaped like a grown woman. You know, or you know,
Mhm.
and we talked about this in Awakening the Master Feminine. In our society, if you are shaped like a woman early, it attracts predators in our community and
Mhm.
other communities. And so I was sharing, y'all see if y'all go listen, that I was attracting predators and I used to dress very girly. But when I saw the attention it was getting, that's when I started dressing like a dope boy. No, I was just playing. Like more masculine. I covered it all up, and I used to be more fresh and in sneakers and pants and just bulky clothes all together, covered it all up.
Yeah, yeah.
So society does shape you, and it will switch off these characteristics. And I love the characteristics because when we read Awakening the Master Feminine, it pushed me back, and I committed at that point to start wearing more dresses and to embrace my feminine a little more because I did switch it off at a certain age. And so
Mm-hmm.
you do want to be balanced. But what do you think about it, Mr. Butts and Miss Max?
Um, Max has her mouth open like she just can't wait to get something out. I'm gonna let her go. I'll hold my point. Go ahead.
I, I just wanted to say, I do hold accountable for women's upbringing. You know, if they're, especially if it's not two parents in the home, if
Mm-hmm.
you're raised kind of masculine, then that's what you're gonna be out an outcome
Mm-hmm.
majority of the time. But for me, with two parents in the home, let me just break it down simple as this. My mom, okay, I don't think my dad had a say so in it, but my mom was very ladylike. She believed in crossing your legs, heels, pearls, pencil skirts, a dress. I wasn't even allowed jeans or
Slit.
slacks until my senior year in high school. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I did not have to wear uniforms in high school, but you best believe that my mom laid out a pencil skirt and a white collar button down blouse and my pearls on the first day of high school. And I wasn't allowed a book bag. I was allowed a briefcase with my name on it because
Mm-hmm.
she believed school was a 9 to 5 job. Okay. So very ladylike. And again, a lot of people didn't think I was a student. They thought I was a substitute teacher because I dressed in heels and pistol skirt with my pearls and button down shirt and all that. And I had my hair up. Okay. So of course I'm going to look like a teacher. Okay. I didn't look like a student, but she believed being a lady is being a lady. You'll attract a successful husband like that.
Mm-hmm.
um, I wasn't allowed short skirts or tight anything, you know. And my
Mm-hmm.
mom, I would get dressed, and my mom would be like, "Okay, well, let your dad see you and see if he approve of that." And usually, if my mom picked out my outfits, it would be approved. But if I picked out the outfits, no, it wouldn't be approved. So so my parents gangster up like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
or something like that. And having table etiquette and just being an all round wood lady, being a feminine
Mm-hmm.
lady, an elegant lady, you know, with those traits, and they never left me. The only way or the only reason I had to be masculine is when I had to be. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be, then I'm all flimsy and girly as it is. Okay. Always kept my hair up, always kept my nails up, always kept my toes up, and with or without makeup. And I tell my friends all the time, you could be in a nun outfit and you would get hollered at. You would get somebody's number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have to show all of that. You don't have to act all of that. You will be seen just by walking in the room silent.
Mm-hmm.
You would be seen. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're females. We're females, and that's the power that we have, okay, over men. But a lot of women don't see it like that. They think they got to show this. They think they got to act like this, whatever. No, act nice, act feminine, act delicate, act feminine, because that's your nature, okay? And you'll have a flock of men by your side no matter what. If you just act like that, then everything should be all good. But
Mm-hmm.
no, they don't think everything is all good. So, and in most cases, I get shamed for being how I am. Go
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
figure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. All right, forever the professor. I'm going to say, I'm just going to go to the last point you said, as we are giving some women some advice. I'm going to give the male perspective. Ladies, do not act nice.
Right.
Be nice. Do not act feminine.
Be
Be
feminine.
feminine.
Mhm.
Do not act submissive. Be
Be
submissive. Do not act polite. Be polite.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fake it forever, so don't fake it.
Right.
Let it become an intrinsic part of you, and store those attributes, values, and principles that my dad used to say this. Uh, don't be out there. Don't be out there fucking up our good name.
Mm-hmm.
Now my last name is Butts, and you know all the teasing I got behind this last name, but yet and still, the reputation that he and my uncles had were that they were stand up dudes,
Mm-hmm.
that they were polite, helpful, respectful, um, and they had a fabulous work ethic. If they took a job, they was going to do it to it was complete and completed well. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what he was pointing to more than anything, about not messing up a name. But ladies, as you developed who you're going to be out in the street, I like to think we can get back to a point of having our moral compass driven by what our parents would think of us if they saw us if they saw us behaving in a
Mm-hmm.
certain way, if they
right.
saw us dressed a certain way, would they think it favorable?
Mm-hmm.
In some instances nowadays, a lot of the more popular fashion statements and mindsets and such, probably not so, but we can change. Getting back to what Miss Pitts was talking about, and that is the underdevelopment of any particular archetypal house,
Mm-hmm.
um, being stunted by some childhood traumas. And it's been my observation that absolutely that can play a huge part.
Mm-hmm.
Many people are stuck, um, maturity wise, exactly where that trauma occurred.
Mm-hmm.
If something traumatic happened to you at 7, you almost never develop out of the cognitive stage of a 7-year-old with how you process your feelings and emotions and such. If it happened at 13, you're almost always stuck right there. And the thing that helps us get beyond that is true nurturing, um, therapy, whether that's therapy in Big Mama's lap or Uncle Freddie's lap, or underneath Uncle Freddie's carport, while he sits you down and tell you what's what behind what happened with what's what. And I absolutely, that's why a lot of the programs that I absolutely embrace here in St. Louis have to do with those gentlemen that are taking time to embrace and to mentor young men. And I think a lot of it is lost. A lot of it had been lost when the breakdown of the family happened back in late 60s, early 70s, in our community particularly is what I'm speaking of. It's where we became a bit more dysfunctional and we lost that drive, Miss Pitts, to actually be something definitively in one of the feminine houses or one of the masculine houses. Not impossible to get back there, but definitely takes some very intentional work. Much like the very intentional work that we're talking about when we're speaking of getting to a point of high level orgasms or the holy grail of orgasms, mastering your energy storage, including your sexual storage. We spoke in chapter 3 about semen retention for men, and we'll get into that more in depth. But basically, it means unless you are focused on actually engaging with the woman to reach a high level orgasm and alchemize all of your body types at that particular time, place, then do not be dropping your seed all over the place. Not in a sock, not on a rock, not willy-nilly. I'm just saying, semen retention requires you to not activate your sexual energies to the point of ejaculation, which we found out a few chapters ago is not necessarily orgasm just because you ejaculate, but it is a waste of your sexual energies to engage in that when you're not engaging with a purpose and a person to seek a high level orgasm. So I'm not saying don't go get your rocks off is all if getting your rocks off is all you want to do, but if you want to have the best possible chance of being able to get yourself healthy enough physically, mentally, and emotionally, you cannot allow the distractions of arbitrary sexual activity, particularly masturbation, to drain those energies from you. You have to store them up and keep them at the ready for when you intentionally engage with a person that you're going to alchemize a high level orgasm with.
Yeah.
Any more thoughts, Ms. Pitts?
Yeah, of course. So as we all know, we've been here 2 weeks straight. We all know. So I just want to say first, this is a disclaimer. We all have different opinions. The opinions of each individual is not a reflection of the channel. Okay.
Absolutely.
And for me, when you're reading book 1 and book 2, which I encourage everyone to read, I encourage everyone to get those first 2 books. He states how religion and society have shaped us to think and move a certain type of way. So when we're looking at how people dress, I don't feel the same. As far as showing skin, I say if you got it, show it. Because you're not going to stay young forever. And then whether you show it or not, that does not dictate you having a man or keeping a man. We see women all the time, they be covered up from head to toe, whether it's religion or whatever, and single as a dollar bill, just the same as we'll see a girl that's always uncovered and she can still be single as a dollar bill. It does not dictate I base everything on character. I'm not holding nobody. If you got a poor character, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And I can see you out, and this is me, a woman dating men. You can have on skinny jeans and be all into new fashions. I'm just not into it. I'm still gonna be looking at your character. So I don't subscribe to that you don't. I don't subscribe to any of the submissive talk lady like things. None of that. I'm a rebel, always have been. I'm gonna do me. I feel like character is what we should be judging people on and holding people to. And that's who I personally want to connect with. And like Mr. Butt said, don't try to be nice. When you look up the etymology of nice, it means dumb, stupid, ignorant. It is nothing to be striving to. I'm never nice. Nobody can say, "Oh, she's very." Nobody ever say that to you about me. Thankfully.
Right.
And so I don't subscribe to any of those things. I build relationships, and if you're around long enough, you'll see I'm good in character. If I have it, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how far it goes with me. And when it comes to relationship with men, it's not going to always be presented as feminine. If I have a lot of stuff on my plate, the only time I'm feminine is if you are taking some of these things off my plate. Okay? Don't expect me to operate in just a solely feminine space when I'm operating my home and my vehicles and my child as a masculine. It's just not going to happen. I'm always in mother bear mode. I'm away from family. So I'm the only protector of my environment and community and stuff. So it just depends. I want y'all to take all that into account. It depends on the person and the situation. We can't just take societal norms and place them and hold. No. So me and my friend April, it was we go out in April. Of course, y'all know I like to go to the hood spots. So I told April,
what? Not the farm hoedown.
Listen, I mean us, our music, our culture. That's who I want to be. So we go out to this place, and I told April before we left, you might be a little overdressed. This is my thing in the house. It's like I'm looking. I'm like, okay, now you can wear it, but I'm telling you, when we get there, you might feel like auntie because we do dress a certain type of way after a certain age. Me, I'm not showing because I've never been and I don't know if it's because my elegant rose got cut off early, but I don't be showing a lot of skin. You got to catch me on a cruise to see some skin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's short skin. So we get there and
me too.
The first thing we see is beautiful young women. The new trend is skirts with the booties out. Now, I saw people talking about it all on TikTok. You got all the older women with an opinion.
Wait a minute, hold on. What with the booty out?
Skirts.
Skirt.
Yes.
You mean just like so high that the lower part of the butt is out?
The whole booty is out. This is the new trend in younger generation.
And it's a skirt.
Yes, it's a skirt.
Yes.
So
okay, I'm sorry. I ain't seen it yet. Thank you.
So, I've seen it lots of times.
So on TikTok, it went viral, and people were complaining because they were going into public spaces, graduations, family restaurants with these skirts on. So I had not seen it in public. So when we went out, the first thing we saw was a young lady with this skirt on. She stopped in front of our table, dropped it like it's hot. It was already out. So when she dropped it like it was hot, it was. Was it? And so for me,
hot garbage, hot.
Oh no.
But you know, Miss Pitts, I be thinking, what is the purpose? What's the goal? What's the end goal about that?
Me, I embrace our culture, all things. So for me, once she started dancing, me and April, of course, we looking at each other laughing, and I was like, "That's why I say you might be overdressed because the young people don't care." What I admire about the younger generation, they don't care what you think. They're going to do them, and you can have 19 opinions, but to me, it's a disconnect. We have no room to judge them. We did our own stuff, our own way, and so when we were that age, it might not have been that, but we had our stuff. So again, she was beautiful. And when he talks about an awakening of feminine, he talks about being free of societal norms and societal opinions, because it's an opinion. If she feels like her body is beautiful enough to hang it out of a skirt and pop like it, that's her body. And so I'm with the freedom of expression of, and that's through hair. People, I get it all the time. Men ask me, why is my hair blonde? Now for that masculine dominant energy, baby, it could be black for you. But if I ain't trying to see you on that level, then I'm not going to be concerned with what you have to say about me. I'm just not. I have disconnected people on the apps for asking me. It's like, baby, it's my hair. And so I'm a respecter of people. And so in this culture, April, she's a homebody. The whole night she was in shock. She saw one thing to the next. And I get a kick out of it because I'm watching her enjoy herself, but she is not used to these cultural norms. And so this is us in our element. And I don't judge. Like I said, if you want to have your booty out, girl, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Show it
Yeah,
off.
I'd be like, if you want to, you do you, boo. You do you. But my thing is, when I go out with my girls, whenever that is, don't complain of how I dress.
Right.
Okay. If you want to show your body, you show your body, but don't complain because I'm overdressed or you think I'm overdressed. Don't do that, because I'm not complaining about how you do that.
Yeah, I don't never hear younger people saying they might call you auntie because they think you're older, blah blah blah. But we look younger than they do sometimes. So,
girl,
at the end of the day, I don't never hear them critique the way we do, and that's why I don't. And I got little cousins. I have just family members that go through all of the things. I never judge. If I need to remove myself, I will. But I'm not. And so the whole club, this is a thing. Most of the women had these skirts on.
Okay, pause.
And they look
good. Somebody send me an image of this skirt we talk about.
I can't believe you ain't seen it.
Anybody watching the live or something, if you find me an image or video
Uncle,
of this
Uncle
skirt,
Jay, it's almost like a short tennis skirt, but shorter.
I like tennis skirts. But show me. I mean, I don't know how you make a tennis skirt shorter.
Can you imagine? We wore tennis skirts, but they have made them shorter, and so the whole booty is off and under the skirt now.
You don't wear the little biker shorts underneath that.
No, they not.
No, they letting it all hang out,
baby.
Okay, somebody send me a picture of this skirt. This is just for research purposes.
So y'all don't see those skirts up there? I'm in shock.
I guess I haven't been in the right place.
I've seen them.
Everybody in that, it was even a girl that was pregnant with one of those skirts on. And
she had a short skirt just in case her water broke. She'd be able to deliver the baby easy.
She was in there dancing, buying her friends drinks. She would pop like and drop in her little skirt. So for me,
yeah, y'all got to show me the skirt.
But for me, I look at the energy. I like being around us and our culture and the younger generations because they keep you young, and they do keep your character in check. Because April kept asking all night, like, what do they work? They got on all these diamond chains. She's like, what do they possibly work to have all these diamonds on? All night I was just cracking up. And then it's just like with the women, when he talks about awakening the master feminine, he speaks about the elegant rose and the moon energy being mostly in lack, and it's because society has shamed you to think that you have to always be clothed and covered up, and it's just not true. Because if we go all the way back, you see the little leaves was the only thing, and then just like freedom. Even with the bras, a bra was created by a man. It was not created by a woman to help a woman. And so just this culture and societal and religious shape you into feeling like if you uncover, then you have to be less than, or she got to be a hoe, or she'll never get married. It's just not true. It's not true. I even women with a bunch of children, society says that she won't have men in the South. The women with the children have always got a man. They be married. It's just not true. So I don't subscribe to any of it. And I say, if you young and you out there, I wouldn't want my daughter doing it, of course. But if I had a
Why
daughter,
wouldn't you want your daughter doing it?
well,
Exactly.
well, for me, I wouldn't want my daughter's ass out around around me. Now, if she stay in her own place and she's doing her own thing, have at it. I just don't want to see your ass. I got my own. And so it's not like, oh, I don't want, because like I say, you can be the perfect angel and a predator will come along. You could be a girl that be fully covered. Because at a certain age, you're naive. It's not going to be about what you're showing and what you ain't. You can be that girl or that girl. I was not highly out there. I did own a tennis skirt that I used to put in my book bag, and I had to sneak and put it on away from the house. But I've never been that girl to where I felt to show a lot of skin. I did always dress girly, but in a classy way. You know, when I was really small and petite, it was never. Oh, and so my godmom bought me my first pair of booty shorts. You know what I'm saying? And then she had to discuss this with my mom, and my mom looking at the shorts like appalled. And I didn't even though I had them, I didn't wear them all the time. Even with the tennis skirt, I just didn't feel comfortable being covered up. But it could be because predators were in my neighborhood. You get what I'm saying? It was, that's the experience I had, and so I do know women.
Oh no.
We lost you again, Miss Pitts. You said you do know women, and we'll get back to you when you come.
I do
Coming back
know.
now.
Yeah,
The last thing we heard you say was you do know women
that were raised in the church, that lost their virginity with their husband, and that are living a life of what they call it, sanctified and holified. They up in there. I know those women too, and they don't be. I can't say that they are happy, because these are the women that are out judging the young women instead of loving them. And if you can lovingly tell a woman, hey, you don't have to show it all, but it's a choice. What they say at 13, that's when they hold you accountable for your sins. In our community, I don't know if y'all grew up with that. Yeah. So it's a choice. It's like, and we should not shame. And he speaks on it deeply in the book. Women that do choose to show, because everybody can't. Those who do can. You know. So I don't share or subscribe to that. Out of then I think even weaponizing masculinity and feminine. Everybody got masculine and feminine in them. Everybody. And so it's not a woman's place just to be feminine. If a woman's taking care of her family, her household, her car is not, she's not going to be very soft unless you bring that out of her. And so I don't subscribe to the gender. And that's what he was talking about in this chapter. The gender, people can't hold up to the gender. And I think it's societal to try to assign that. Because I hear it all the time. If you want to get cussed out real good, come my way with the trying to tell me about energy. I might get at you, and it'll be in an intelligent way, but I'm gonna let you know everybody has masculine and feminine. Everybody has the 4 elements in them, and so it's not just for a woman or particularly for a man. You just have to get with the right person. You might be masculine, your husband is feminine, and that works. That works for some people. I love my high school sweetheart because he was so nurturing. And I'm fired. He was very nurturing. He gave me all the candy. This when you're young. I had all the candies that I wanted every morning. Very nurturing at an early age. But it was because he was raised taking care of his mom and his sisters. And so that's what he had in him. But yeah, I digress, y'all. I just had make sure I was being quiet, but I don't.
It's okay. So we got you. And thank you for the correction, because I mean, I've not put every word through etymology, and you told me about that nice before. So when I was just saying convert to saying to being instead of
trying
acting. I didn't think about the nice part, but you're right. The foundation of the word nice back in middle centuries, it did speak of the original definition was foolish, fastidious, ignorant, and such.
Is that what those old school church ladies were saying about me? they would introduce me to their sons or their grandsons and be like, "This is a nice young lady," and I was like, "Who told you I was nice?
Because they're saying you were stupid. They don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Who told you
I
that?"
doubt it. I doubt it. Like I said, this is
No,
yeah.
This
I
is a
don't know.
nice. They would say that this is a nice, good church young lady. I said, "Who told you I was nice? Who
Right.
told you
We
that?"
can't, yeah, we can't go. We shouldn't. We
Hey,
shouldn't.
look,
With all that we
then,
know, with all that we know now, we definitely can say that um, no matter what your uniform is,
right.
it does not guarantee a certain character.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people that have been wearing the religious cloth in
Mm-hmm.
certain religions that they've been wearing that uniform, and yet they're responsible for
Poison
some very
society.
atrocious
Mm-hmm.
deviant acts, or what we know to be atrocious
Mm-hmm.
deviant acts,
Mm-hmm.
pedophilia and such. We've got I mean it's not a myth at all. It is certified fact
Mm-hmm.
based on my research
Mm-hmm.
that long skirts and necktie blouses and going to church every 4 times a week does not guarantee
Mm-hmm.
that you are
A virgin.
abstinent.
uh,
Yeah, but I've been being PC all day long. I've been being good, being PC all day long.
don't be.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
yeah, it
not.
does not guarantee. It does not guarantee that you are practicing abstinence just because you go to church 4 times a week,
Right.
sing in the choir, serve
Right.
on the ladies' board, wear a skirt down to your ankle,
And I
and
know that was me. That was
and you
me.
got your
Listen.
blouse all the way up to half your neck. That does not guarantee that you are not sexually active.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, and I've said across the board with men, uh, every deacon that has a wife in the church is not always monogamous.
Right.
I'm being
Right.
so PC. I'm being so PC.
See.
Okay. Yeah, we got a couple of minutes that we are before we wind things up, wind the conversation down. Don't want our readers to get lost in all of our sharing. That we lose sight of what we went through today, and that was just discovering some of the 4 basic archetypes in the
Mm-hmm.
houses of men and those of women as well. And as Master Yao said, we could list thousands of traits and attributes. These are just some of the 4 basic ones that are most commonly duplicated
Mm-hmm.
and intermingled. As Ms. Pitts and I said, you can have pieces of either one. A lot of times that's because you have juvenile stages of each one of them because you haven't willfully and intentionally, nor have you been taught and nurtured how to develop all the aspects of any one particular house.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're kind of maybe stuck there. But you do need pieces, I think, to be successful in life. You do need pieces of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about getting to the point of alchemizing all 4 bodies and the elements of all 4 bodies, the etheric, the cell, the energetic, and the spiritual. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to need to have some basic development and foundation in each one of them. And today we were talking about energy, masculine energy, feminine energy, what you bring, how healthy you are when you bring it, both from a spiritual, emotional, and physical level, so
Mm-hmm.
that when you alchemize with the person on purpose to reach the HLO, the holy grail of orgasms, you are not so severely depleted that you can't move. Now, maybe you don't necessarily want to get up and go feed the cows and the chickens like Ms. Pitt says she want to do,
Listen.
or go running like Max with the Gap says she felt like she wanted to do. But an unscheduled nap does not have to be the next thing you do either.
Right. Right.
Hey, all your questions, feel free to hit us with them, whether you were here with us live today or whether you're watching this on a replay later on because you couldn't join us live. Send the questions through. We absolutely look at everything dissected. It will become part of a conversation. I mean, You don't necessarily have to give your name. So and so asked this, that, or another. You can ask anonymously, and we'll answer you directly. But also, because sometimes people have that question, but they don't want to ask it. They're feel flip asking it. Go ahead and ask the question for the 20 people that really want to ask the question. Uh, your comments are welcome as well, as long as they are respectful. Make your comments, say your positions. As you can see, we have different backgrounds. We come from a different bases.
Mm-hmm.
Our levels of wisdom are different, and so our input is going to be different. And I think that's the strength of Ms. Pitts and I being together.
Right.
And one of the things we have been able to cultivate over the year or so is that even in having differing points,
Right.
we can be respectful and we can articulate those points.
Right.
Match of the Gap, we thank you so much for joining us today
Yeah.
and
Thank
chiming
you
in
for
with all of
receiving me.
your input. Hey, and
We look forward
again,
to
we're gonna share her social and get her QR code
right.
going. So if anybody interested in checking out, she said some of the things. I'm gonna listen what I. She is a model. She is an author. She's she is a screenwriter. She's got movies in development in Nigeria right now, and she wants to be a porn star. She's an influencer podcast host as well. Plethora of things. Check her out, please.
All the
Please.
things.
And I'm
All
gonna
the
leave the
things.
last. I'm gonna give the last 2 minutes to you, Miss Pitts.
Well, I just want to, Max, go ahead and drop your social or your link so I can post it while we're still here. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And feel free to join the panel. If you want to join the panel, put it in the comment section. And we don't mind pulling you into the stage. We like the community building, the differences of opinions and experiences, because I only speak from my experience myself. Me and Mr. Butts, we talk all the time, and I have so many questions for him. I know I just be irking his when he call. He know when I call, I'm calling because I got a question. So he shares his wisdom, and I appreciate him for that, and just making this experience better, inviting people, and actually sharing the content, because my goal is that we heal. We heal our community in a way where we're not. I see it. We're not opinionated or um, just too alienated, because I feel like we alienate people when we have so much judgment, and that we all are shaped by our experiences. And so yes, you're free to have that opinion, but not to push it into society like we know it all, because we don't. We're all still learning. I am aging in reverse right now, but at this wisdom age, I'm learning just to be okay with my masculine nature. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to prior to reading these books. When somebody says, "Oh, you're too masculine," it's like, what's too masculine? I'm out here with chickens. I want goats and stuff. You got to have some element of masculine there. And so I share with Mr. Butts. It's just like me, my typical day is getting up and putting on some overalls, and I'm in the yard all day. Sometimes I look up, the whole day has passed, and so that's my reality. And so when I do go out, I do try to embrace the more feminine side by dressing up, putting on a dress, nice little fitted, curvy. But on a day to day, you see me at Walmart, I'm like Fiona. I'm out here like Fiona. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I want to encourage everybody to just be okay. No, thank you for tuning in, Ronnie. And I hope I pronounced that right.
Ronnie. Ronnie was with us. Hey, we should have had. I hope. Well, you know what? That's another friend of mine. I hope she has time to really join the panel one day. Dr. Ronnie Benoit, Veronica Benoit. Yeah, she would be an interesting inclusion if she makes time one day. I think she's got a conflict. She got a conflict right now, but we're gonna get her on one day.
I'll say we look forward to the company, and everybody is welcome. like Mr. Butts, all of his friends and comrades, come, let's discuss. And everybody else, don't forget again to share, subscribe, and like. And tell a friend to tell a friend. We gotta heal on some level, and it starts with us communicating and forming community around these topics. Because I feel like sex wasn't talked about in my household a lot at all. It was like I learned that from the streets. So yeah, so my goal is to heal. Is never to be judgy or anything, but to heal. Right. Okay, Miss Max, I'm putting up your stuff right now. Do you have anything, or do you want to share your socials?
Oh, I already put it. I already put it up there. My Facebook is Max with the Gap, just like you see there, and then my IG is Max with the Gap 1941.
Okay, so I'm just posting it so I can get through. And y'all don't have to rush off. You can say whatever you want. Yes,
and TikTok is Max with the Gap. Everything is Max with the Gap, just like how it's spelled.
Okay, so I'm kind of copy and paste fast, but you know that don't work. So I'm copying.
Well, thank you, ladies, for all that you taught me today. Yes, I'm 58, going on 59-year-old teacher instructor, but I'm a consummate student. And I think I've lived my life like that. That's probably, not probably. That is why I can regurgitate so much, and I have so much to share about various things. I think, who was I talking to the other day? Somebody I was talking to said, how did you even know that? How did you one thing led to another. I went down this rabbit hole, and next thing you know, I got a whole bunch of knowledge about motorcycles. And I'm still looking. Somebody send me the image or a link to this skirt, because I need to know what this skirt.
We're going
I'm trying to learn something today.
And don't forget to text Mr. Butts Forehead Kiss if you want a free copy of the book we're currently reading. We're going to get the images over to him of this new tennis skirt. This is the new generational tennis skirt that the ladies are bold enough to wear out here. And shout out to True Style Records. Healing is necessary in community. Healing the community is necessary. Yeah. And it starts with us. It's like, if not us, then who? Yeah, we're going to get those images over to you.
We'll bump it up today. You know what? If I want y'all to send them to me too. Absolutely. But if you are the first person after we sign off, if you're the first person to hit me with forehead kiss, 2 words, forehead and kiss, at Jamal and Butts on Messenger, and you send me an image of the skirt, I'm going to buy you the holy grail of orgasm. And whether you are a male or female, I'm also going to buy you the other book that we went through before, the House of the Feminine or the House of the Masculine. Whichever one's most relative to you, I'm gonna get you 2 of them if you hit me with the skirt and forehead kiss.
I can't believe you haven't seen the skirt. I'm in shock.
What's it called?
You gotta come to Texas. I can't believe you ain't seen the skirts.
I've seen plenty of skirts. I haven't seen no skirt with the last thing
with the booty out.
I saw with the ass out was Prince with his pants with the ass out.
That's damn near it.
Ooh, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. No judgment. Well, y'all, we gonna go up out of here. Yeah. We appreciate you, Max, for coming, and we look forward to your podcast. You have brought beautiful energy up, and so thank you again for just being bold enough to come on with us.
Thank you for receiving me.
Anytime. We're going to see y'all next week, where we'll be on chapter 5, which is the art and science of Tantra. So we are going to get into Tantra. And until then, peace.
Peace. Farewell. Bye-bye.